My next guest is one of the most prominent figures in American politics. Hillary Rodham Clinton was, of course, First Lady of the United States, then a U.S. Senator from New York, and then served under President Barack Obama as Secretary of State. In 2016, she made history as the first woman nominated by a major party to run for president. More recently, she's added university professor and Broadway producer to her list of accomplishments.
Welcome everyone back to Wrestling with Politics. My name is Joel Perez, and today we will all be discussing the queen of all warmongers herself, Hillary Clinton. On her recent interview with CNN, Hillary decided to climb out of her cave once again and let the American people know, in particular young people, how much she loathes them. Except this time, Hillary Clinton is extra pleased this time around because Hillary Clinton's lifelong dream of being the first woman president is finally being fulfilled. Not by her, thank the Lord, but by one of Hillary Clinton's own trained puppets, Kamala Harris. If Kamala Harris becomes the president, one name that you will be hearing a lot more from is Hillary Clinton. You can be damn sure about that. And unfortunately, what that means for America is more wars, more corruption, and more destruction. But let's not waste any more time here. Let's get right into this interview and see what kind of agenda Hillary Rodham Clinton still has for America in 2024.
I want to start by asking you about, you talk a lot in the book about what it meant to be a woman in politics, and your path to it had to be slightly complicated. I mean, I looked this up, but when you went to Wellesley, Ivy League colleges were not co-ed. When you went to Yale Law School, it was basically the first year that they had opened it up to women. And so in some ways you became a political spouse and gained prominence that way. Kamala Harris has done it a different way and probably benefited from your opening all those doors. Do you think she has a better chance at kind of breaking through that glass ceiling?
And right from the beginning of the interview, I just have to point out the very nature of this interview. The CNN interviewer, Fareed Zakaria, is completely friendly, very well researched, I'll give him that. But this man almost seems to be Hillary Clinton's biggest fan. He knows everything about her, the good and the bad, but he will never ask her a single tough question. During the entire interview, he never interrupts, and as a matter of fact, he barely got a word in. Hillary Clinton is one of the most notorious liars. She's lied us into every war she's ever seen, including the Iraq War, which resulted in the death of over 1 million people. She voted for the Patriot Act, which expanded spying on all Americans. She pushed for an orchestrated coup in Libya and overthrew Gaddafi, which disrupted the entire region. Her husband, Bill Clinton, literally signed the crime bill, which led to the mass incarceration of the black population in this country. And Hillary Clinton herself has heavily insinuated that the black population who was most affected by the crime bill is just filled with gangs and super predators.
Because if we have more police interacting with people, having them on the streets, we can prevent crimes. We can prevent petty crimes from turning into something worse. But we also have to have an organized effort against gangs. Just as in a previous generation we had an organized effort against the mob. We need to take these people on. They are often connected to big drug cartels. They are not just gangs of kids anymore. They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators. No conscience, no empathy. We can talk about why they ended up that way, but first we have to bring them to heel. And the president has asked the FBI to launch a very concerted effort against gangs everywhere.
And this is quite shocking language for Hillary Clinton to use to speak about the American people. And it makes you wonder who exactly Hillary Clinton is referring to when she refers to children and kids as super predators who have no conscience and no empathy. I can tell you who it ended up affecting the most. Poor and working class Americans who were policed at higher rates, and especially the Hispanic and Black communities, millions of which have been arrested and incarcerated and used as cheap labor for the prison industrial complex. In other words, modern day slavery. But Hillary Clinton would never tell you any of that. She is one of the biggest spreaders of propaganda and misinformation, but she has an open platform on CNN to spew as much of that disinformation as she wants, fact check free. And I want you to compare the kind of treatment that Hillary Clinton gets compared to when a third-party candidate like Jill Stein is being interviewed, which we just did a video speaking on Jill Stein's interview with The Breakfast Club, and the attitude was completely disrespectful. But I bet you if Jill Stein was being interviewed on CNN by the same interviewer, all of a sudden, Fareed Zakaria would become a hard-hitting journalist who just can't stop interrupting. But when he interviews Hillary Clinton, it's radio silence. And that's because Fareed Zakaria knows the dire consequences of coming out and giving Hillary Clinton a tough interview. He wouldn't be working for CNN much longer, that's for sure. And we all know that this interview wouldn't even be happening to begin with if Hillary Clinton was asked a tough question, because Hillary stopped talking to anyone who wasn't a complete tool for empire as soon as she stopped running in 2016.
And as I, write in the book and in the epilogue to the audio version that I read, I didn't know how I would feel because obviously it was a huge disappointment not to win in 2016. But when President Biden withdrew and endorsed the vice president, I immediately, along with my husband, endorsed her as well. And it felt right. It felt exciting, exhilarating. I think she is not only absolutely equipped and ready to be president, I think we need somebody like her right now, Fareed.
It's absolutely no surprise that Hillary Clinton comes out here full-throatedly endorsing Kamala Harris, because Hillary Clinton knows that she will be probably getting a major role in the administration. Even though Hillary has definitely already been one of the major players running things behind the scenes anyways, unless you truly believe that the demented Joe Biden has been running the show. But most importantly, Hillary Clinton knows that with Kamala Harris, the true agenda, ensuring the domination of transnational elites and corporations, that will be in perfectly safe hands. Because that is the major problem with Kamala Harris, or should I say Hillary 2.0. Because as soon as she came out and started running for president, every one of the biggest assholes and liars of the past 20 and 30 years has come out of the woodworks to endorse her. Coincidentally enough, Kamala Harris has managed to round up the endorsement of every celebrity who's been to Diddy's mansion. What does that tell you?
This is an election not just between two people, two tickets, two parties. It really is an election between democracy and autocracy, freedom and oppression, but also between leadership that wants to bring us together, to do big things, to demonstrate America is fully ready to be as prosperous and as focused at home and leading abroad, because the world needs that. And so the contrast between the two visions of our future could not be more stark and different. I think Kamala's campaign has demonstrated, as it's already been written and talked about, a level of energy, even joy. The contrast is the Trump campaign. It's dark, it's dystopian, it's filled with attacks on different kinds of people, finger pointing and scapegoating. That's a very different view of who we are as a people and what we should aspire to.
And in this clip, Hillary Clinton tries to sell you with the same tired, Democratic talking points that attempt to cater to your emotions, saying Trump and his agenda are dystopian and dark, while Democrats are the ones who offer hope and aspiration and change. She literally said that this is a fight between democracy and autocracy, between freedom and oppression, creating this facade as if in reality Hillary Clinton and the Democratic Party haven't been the face of oppression and the face of autocracy for the past 4 years. Hillary Clinton, as we showed earlier in the video, has only used vile language to describe the American people. And her language, and more importantly her actions, have only gotten us closer and closer to nuclear confrontation with countries like Russia, Iran, Iraq, China, Libya, North Korea, and that's just to name a few. And that's made Americans less safe because government officials like Hillary Clinton decided to sell out, decided to take a big fat check from Wall Street, got into office, used up our taxpayer dollars, sent your children to someone else's home 1,000 miles away, and used that money to bomb the shit out of them. So the top executive of Wall Street could get his fatter check, and now you, the average everyday American citizen whose money is being used to pay for all of this, are poorer, more stressed, you have to work even harder just to get by, and your neighborhood is less safe because now you have to worry about the man 1,000 miles away screaming death to America. And that is why we cannot allow Kamala Harris to become president. Because if we do, one of the most evil politicians in America, Hillary Rodham Clinton, is back in business. And I don't think America can survive another 4 years of that. We avoided it once in 2016, but can we do it again? I'm not so sure. But for now, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is Kamala actually gonna win this thing? Also, let me know in the comments if you guys would like a part 2 of this interview breaking down Hillary Clinton's comments on the Palestinian protesters. And there's a lot to get into there. I just didn't want to make this video too long. But for now, if you guys want more content and you guys want longer videos, you guys can make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Wrestling with Politics. Thank you for watching this video.